Hi, everyone. Welcome to Heart Mind Conversations with Cheryl Piper. And I am Cheryl Piper. For those of you who don't know me, men and women challenged by divorce, job loss, and heartbreak hire me to help uncover those sabotaging patterns that are blocking their success. So, welcome to the show today. Welcome to all the replay viewers. Welcome to everyone live. And today, this week's theme, we're going to be talking about unleashing the power of the heart, one of my favorite subjects. And those of you who know me know I love talking about the power and energy of the heart. So, before we get started, I'd just like to invite everyone who would like to comment live on the show over to the original broadcast, which is at Cheryl Piper Sends Love. That is my business page on Facebook. Or you can click the link that's in the description. I've pushed this out through many different pages and hubs, and you're welcome to watch wherever you are. I just want you to know that I won't be able to see your comments unless you're on the original broadcast post. So please jump over and be part of the show. I'd love to hear your comments and hear your thoughts on heart-focused energy. So as we move in to what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about Did You Know? And I have some slides that are going to help us move through that as far as magnificence of our human heart, talking about building resilience and what that looks like and how that helps us to move through challenging situations. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can, let's go ahead and bring this. Well, you know what? Let's do it like this. So that way you can still see me. Hey, I'm down here in the corner. So I am sort of talk about on my website, and you're able to go in to the website and see with the different certifications that I have, the different courses that are available, Heart Math being one of those. And I'd like to step forward into what I was talking about before. Did you know? And I think I'm going to go ahead and just put this up solo. Wow, I don't know if you can hear it raining, but it is raining again here on the East Coast in August. So, did you know? Oh, it looks like it's going to take a little bit for my slides to catch up. There we go. Did you know that a positive emotion, it really does create a benefit to our body? So when we have negative thoughts, it can create those negative, things can start to ache, not feel well, and just we overall don't feel well. But when we have a positive thought, it has the opposite effect. It really does benefit our body and create, just a feeling, an overwhelming feeling of greatness and wonderful and just peace. So moving forward, did you know that the human heart's magnetic field can be measured up to several feet away from the body? And I wanted to show this slide because looking at the image that's on this slide and it shows that field that's coming out around from that heart energy. And that's what this is talking about. Actually, that field has been measured through the Heart Math Institute. So any of this information that you want to see the science, I love the science on things. I need a hat that says, I love science. But the Heart Math Institute has measured and been working with the power of the heart for, I want to say it's about 27 years now. And so, as you can see on this slide, you can go to the HeartMath Institute at heartmath.org. There's so much information to look at. And you can also, of course, look on my website and see the different videos that I have talking about HeartMath, and that's CherylPiper.com. So this field can really be measured, many feet away from our physical body. And so, did you know that the heart emits electromagnetic fields that change according to our emotions? And others can pick up on this field. And this is what the slide before kind of led us into this slide. Oh, hi, Marilyn. How does this information, I'm going to put your comment up there, Marilyn. How does this information help and can put into practice? I'm thinking mind since I am overpower that. Okay, so the mind, we're going to be talking a bit about this, what this creates, what HeartMath creates, and it really is, I'll go ahead and answer that for you, Marilyn, and we're going to jump into that. So with HeartMath, what we're doing, I'm going to jump on the screen so you can see me as well. With HeartMath, what HeartMath is designed for is creating coherence between the head and the heart, between the mind and the heart. And so we're going to get into that. Oh, hi, Catherine. How are you doing? Oh, I'll put you up on the screen. Glad you're here. Thanks for coming. And so I'm going to say that much about it for now, Marilyn, and then we're going to get into it and talk about it a little bit more. I hope that helps. So coming back to the slide, looking at how it's talking about the heart emits this electromagnetic energy. The slide before showed us that it can be measured and has been measured several feet from the body. And you can see by looking at this that we can feel. That's been measured as well. And so, and this happens, it. You walking up to someone and you can just kind of feel if they're in a good mood or not before they say anything. There's an energy that you're walking into and you're sensing that. And that's what this is talking about. So moving on to, did you know that the heart has a system of neurons that both have short and long-term memory? And the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. That one, when I first went into my HeartMath training, I was like, wow, really? And of course, I'm not going to go all through HeartMath here. I mean, that is a 6 to 9 week course. What I'm doing is giving you an overview of what HeartMath is and how powerful it is in creating coherence between the mind and the heart. And so then the very last thing on here is talking about the coherent rhythm that helps the brain to be in a creative state. And I've talked about that a lot. Whenever I talk about conversational intelligence, when I talk about communication and conversations, that whole course that I have, the art and science of communication and conversations, when I talk about this is what I'm talking about in this area between creating that coherence between the mind and the heart. It really opens the mind up. It opens that area, the prefrontal cortex, where we can tap into our creative thinking. When we're stressed and we're in an amygdala hijack, which if you guys have been watching me talk about conversations and how we can communicate clearly in conversations, you'll understand the meaning of an amygdala hijack. When we're in that amygdala hijack, our thought process is really shut down from that area of the brain, of being creative, of tapping into that co-creative space, because we're in threat mode when we're in an amygdala hijack. And what heart math will do by creating that coherence between the head, between the mind and the heart, it opens up that area of creativity again. It creates a calm flow where we can actually think in a creative space again, rather than thinking from a threat mode and how can I get away from this person. So moving forward, and did you know that the Earth's magnetic resonance vibrates at the same frequency of our heart rhythms and our brain waves? Wow, when I found that out, I was like, what? And that is just, it really puts us in sync. This whole thought process and modality of heart math in creating that coherence between the head and the heart, it puts us in sync with where we are on this planet, and things flow much easier. When I think about the people who use heart math throughout the years, you're going to find heart math used in the military uses heart math. Sports teams use heart math. It creates you getting into that zone. And we all know what that zone feels like. We just didn't know there was that actual science to it. But when we step into that space where we feel like, oh, I got this, it's when you're swinging the golf club and before you even hit the ball, it's going, because you're in that zone. And that's what heart math creates by creating that coherence between the head and the heart. It keeps us calm and resilient. And building resilience, well, I don't know if I want to get into that yet. I do want to talk about that. Let me talk about this, and then we'll get into talking about building resilience. So I wanted to put this slide up, and hopefully that helps, Marilyn, because you can see this is a slide between being, I'm sorry, you're seeing me. I didn't put it up. Well, that's live TV for you. Here we go. So here is the slide of incoherence and coherence. And so you can see that this on the left-hand side in the red, it's showing an incoherent state. And that frequency that's moving between the head and the heart, you can see it's very jaggedy and very rigidy and just very shaky. And that's what happens when we're in that state of stress. When we are in that state of stress, our body, everything closes in, tightens up, threat mode is taken over. We release cortisol into our body. And when we step into a state of coherence, as you can see on the right, there is a smooth flow of energy. And with heart math, you can actually see this on my website. I didn't put a slide up here, but when I do a heart math session with someone in person, I'm able to hook them up to the heart math, to the monitor, because we have a biofeedback for heart rate variability, because that's what we're measuring. And you can see in real time, going from a stressful situation, it shows right up on the screen, to moving into coherence by moving through the heart math techniques that we go through and learn through the process of learning heart math. And then there's also, there's a device that you can purchase that hooks right up to your iPhone or your iPad, and you're able to do this yourself as well when you're practicing your heart math, so that you can see it happening in real time. It's really good to have a visual like that. And so looking at, let's just jump back over here to me, and I am going to change slides out really quickly. So looking at heart math, when we consistently shift our appreciation, our compassion, and other positive, loving emotions, our heart rhythms immediately shift. And so that is where this power comes from. We're doing it. We're creating it by stepping into that space of appreciation. And you can see, blood pressure drops, stress hormones plummet, the immune system is pumped up. We are able to step into a space where we gain that clarity, calmness, control. That's what stepping into that coherence creates for us. And looking at resilience, I said I wanted to step into that area, looking at the domains of mind coherence. And I'll pop myself down in the corner. When we are in situations of stress, and this, happens every day at work, we find ourselves in stressful situations. Most of the time, where this is going to go out of balance is in the emotional state. Just feeling that stress, feeling like, oh my goodness, they want one more thing from me. I just, is it 5 o'clock yet? And when we're in that state, we're actually depleting ourselves in that emotional area. And when we deplete in any of these areas, it pulls from other areas to try to create a balance. And so it is important that when we're looking at creating this coherence, we look at all four of these areas: the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. And now I, of course, am trained in all four, but I kind of pull myself over to specialize in the emotional, spiritual area. That's where I put my focus in helping people to move into their power, is by working with heart math, working with these techniques, working with spiritual needs to step into forgiveness, to let go of past issues. So I've kind of specialized myself in moving into those two areas. And so with creating resilience, what we're doing is resilience really is our capacity to prepare for and recover from and adapt to stressful situations and changes that are happening quickly, because things happen quick during the day, right? Yeah. And we need to have the tools to be able to move into a state of coherence. And that's what heart math does. That's probably the best way I can explain it. And let me move to one more. I'm going to change this out. Let's step back over here. I wanted you to see this chart as well. With this chart, benefits of heart math. So you can see, this is, showing the studies conducted, over 11,500 people that were in this study. And you can see by looking at this chart, 24% improvement in the ability to focus, 30% in improvement in sleep, 38% improvement in calmness, creating that state of calmness. 46% drop in anxiety, 48% drop in fatigue, and 56% drop in depression. So those are some pretty amazing statistics looking at this study. And so with heart math, what it does is creating that coherence helps to create that balance between all of those areas: the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual, so that we can build our resilience and be able to move through our day with power, really. That's why I'm talking about unleashing the power of the heart. Because when we can just take a few minutes in a stressful situation, move into a few heart math techniques, and then we are able to move back into the job we're doing with a clear mind and move through the task easily. So I'm not seeing any. I'm going to throw it out there for some questions. If anybody has any questions about what we're talking about, I'm going to flip back over here, because with heart math, like I said, it is anywhere from a 4 to 9 week, depending on how long that you want to move through the course or take to move through the course. Because what it's about is building resilience. What it's about doing the techniques and moving through the things that we need to do to clear our space of that forgiveness, clearing our space of those things that we're carrying along with us, to be able to move into doing these techniques and having them right there on the tip of our finger when we need them. And so many times with so many people will say to me, oh my goodness, these techniques are so easy. I don't have to practice. Do I really have to practice this? And I say, absolutely. Practicing, 2 to 3 times a day. What that does for you is it creates those neural pathways, a new neural pathway in your brain, talking about neuroplasticity now. And what happens is by us practicing and practicing these techniques, when we're in a stressful situation, then they're going to kick in. It's just going to kick in. Oh, I need to do heart focused breathing. Oh, I need to focus on inner ease. It just automatically kicks in rather than we're in a stressful situation. And as I've talked about in my past shows, when we're in stress and we go into an amygdala hijack, we're kind of shutting down that area of the prefrontal cortex that allows us our creative thinking, allows us to be in co-creative thought, allows us to access that part of our brain. And so by practicing these techniques, they become automatic then, and you will automatically step into it. And believe me, I go through it all the time. When I find myself in something that's not quite going my way, oh my goodness, somebody expects this, time is getting tight, I need to think about, I calm down, I go into my heart-focused breathing, and it only takes a few minutes. That's it. This is not a long meditation. That's not what heart math is designed for. Heart math is designed to be used in the moment. I can be doing a heart math technique right now looking at you, and you would have no idea that I'm doing it. That's the power of it. Let's say you're in a stressful situation with your boss, with your manager, they think you did this and you didn't do this, and they're, kind of coming down on you, and you can feel the stress and tension in the room. You're tensing up. Instead of going into that full amygdala hijack, move into your heart math techniques and bring the mind and the heart into coherence, removing that stressful state and thinking with clarity. I mean, isn't that what you really want in those stressful situations? How many times have you been in a situation like that, and later you think to yourself, well, I should have said this, and why didn't I say that? And what? It's because you weren't able to access that information in that stressful moment. Whereas if you can move into creating that coherence between the head and the heart in those stressful moments, then you can think more clearly and move through and speak with clarity to whatever that situation is, and not your emotions, not reacting, trying to defend yourself, not reacting with the ego, not reacting in those ways, but reacting clear, calm, and with the facts. And you're going to get a lot more accomplished in that way with whomever you're speaking with. So I think I'd like to just wrap this up by talking about just a few reflection questions that I'd like you guys to think about moving forward into your week. Jump over here really quickly. So one thing I'd like you to think about before I give you the reflection questions is visualization meditation. And looking at what I have up on the screen right now, Visualization meditation. Meditation and visualization are empowering tools to enhance consciousness and self-awareness and to focus the mind. Visualization is a healthy way of bringing positive energy into your mind, body, and spirit, expanding your capacity for creativity. And Kathy has a great comment here. Looking inward is a good start. Absolutely, Kathy. And so, just a few reflection questions to think about moving forward. What's the best thing that I've done for someone this week? Let's think about that as we move forward in our week. How am I going to share my gifts with the world? What am I doing to do that? And then the last question is, when do I find myself in challenging situations where it's hard to be positive? Where am I finding that the most? What is the most challenging thing that's happening for me where I have a hard time being positive? So let's look at those 3 reflection questions this week as we move forward in our theme, which is unleashing the power of the heart. And my guest on Wednesday is Joy Reiser, and everything is going to be about bringing joy into your life. She is an author of 3 fantastic books, and I know that you guys are going to love talking with her. She is all about the heart. She is all about that beautiful energy of creating peace, joy, and coherence in your world. And then, of course, our Friday show will be our meditation show, and we'll be doing some visualization meditation based around unleashing the power of the heart. So remember, if you are ready to move forward in your journey, understanding who you really are, and you're ready to let go of those past issues and move forward, I invite you to contact me. You can contact me here on Facebook at Cheryl Piper Sends Love. Just send me over a message, or you can send a message on my website, cherylpiper.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate your comments. I know you guys are busy and you could be doing anything. So I appreciate you being here and being a part of Heart Mind Conversations with Cheryl Piper. Take care.